Hi, lovely people. It's your boy Abdul Wadud Dudman, the IELTS King Kong, and I welcome you all to my YouTube channel. As you are aware already, on this channel, making sure everyone understands IELTS at the comfort of his or her home. Now, in our previous lesson, we looked at the concept of IELTS reading, and I made you understand that IELTS reading is the only exams where you are aware of the questions you'll be asked on the exams day, just that you cannot tell the specific questions that you are going to be asked. So I said that what you are supposed to do is to understand everything regarding the question types so that however the questions come, you'll be able to answer them. And I listed all these question types that usually come on the exams day as far as IELTS reading is concerned. So today I'm going to take one of those question types and just look at briefly what it stands for and how to answer those or how to answer that particular question type. And now I'm talking about true, false, not given. In the previous lesson, I made mention that one of the question types that usually come in the IELTS reading is true, false, not given. Now, what does true, false, not given means? Now, in IELTS reading tests, as I said, you're going to have a passage and question. Passage, question, passage, question. So you're going to have 3 different passages in all. And you are going to answer 40 questions from these 3 different passages. And one of the popular question type that usually comes when you go for the reading test is true, false, not given. So true, false, not given basically is one of those question types when you are going to write the IELTS exams, you should be rest assured that you meet a question on true, false, not given. And it's also very simple. So when you master true, false, not given, you would actually solve about 40% of your problems with IELTS reading. So what does true means, what does false means, and what does not given means as far as IELTS reading is concerned? Now, with IELTS reading, you are going to have a passage and a question. And with true, false, not given, the questions are going to appear in the form of statements. So without wasting your time, I would move you over to my screen where I'll show you an IELTS reading passage and true, false, not given questions. So you see how the passage appears and how true, false, not given questions also come under the passage. Then afterwards, I'll explain what true means, what false means, and what not given means. Then we can look at how to answer some questions. All right, welcome to my screen. So this is how the IELTS reading passage would look like on the exams day. So this is a sample of IELTS reading passage. As I said, you're going to have 3 different passages. So this is reading passage 1. And as you've seen that you should spend about 20 minutes on question 1 to 13. So in a previous discussion, I told you that the reading passage 1 has 13 questions, reading passage 2 has 13 questions, and the reading passage 3 has 14 questions. So in all, you have 40 questions to answer within 1 hour. So that's why they said use about 20 minutes on passage 1 because it's 3 passages and you have 1 hour. So 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. But as I said, you would decide how you want to use your time. So now look at the question. The title of the passage is Why We Need to Protect Polar Bears. So usually the passage comes with a title. And this is how lengthy the passage is. And beneath this passage, you see the question. So question 1 to 7. And look at this. This is what I want you to see. What has been bolded? True, false, not given. So they said, do the following statements agree with the information given in reading passage 1? In boxes 1 to 7 on your answer sheet, write true if the statement agrees with the information. False if the statement contradicts with the information. Not given if there is no information on this. So don't worry about when to choose true, when to choose false, and when to choose not given. Already they've said if the information agrees, choose true. If there's contradiction, choose false. And if there's no information, choose not given. But I would explain for you to understand very well when we go back to my board. So I just want you to see how the questions appear in IELTS reading tests. So you see question 1, and it is a statement. Polar bears suffer from various health problems due to the buildup of fat under their skin. So that is question 1. So it's a statement. And as I said, in true false not given, what you're supposed to do is that when you read question 1, polar bears suffer from various health problems due to the buildup of fat under their skin. So this question is trying to tell you that there is something called polar bear, assuming you don't even know what they are. So there's something called polar bear, and this polar bear, they suffer from health problems because of some fat under their skin. So there's a polar bear, and the polar bear suffer from health problems, and they suffer from health problems because of the fat they have under their skin. So on the IELTS exams day, what you are supposed to do is that when you read this question 1, you are supposed to go back to the passage and read through the passage. Read from paragraph 1 and read and see where they mention polar bears and where they mention about health problems and whether they suffer from health problems because of fat under their skin, or whether they do not suffer from health problems because of fat under their skin, or whether that information is not even there at all. You understand? So that is what you are supposed to do. So I'm just trying to let you see how the IELTS reading passage appears and how the questions appear under true false not given. So we'll go back to my board right now, and I'll give you sample questions in the form of statements, and I'll give you estimation, or I'll try to explain how they appear in the passage, so that I'll use them to explain when to choose true, when to choose false, and when to choose not given. And I'll give you some assignments to do. So let's go back to the board right now. Welcome back. All right. I hope you've seen how the questions appeared on a screen. You've seen the passage, and you also saw the questions under the true false not given. So you realize that the questions are in a form of statements. And what you are supposed to do as an IELTS student is to go to the passage and search for where those statements have been made and check whether you can choose true, false, or not given. So basically, I'm going to explain the concept of true, false, not given using the example I have on my board. Now, assuming you have a passage like it appeared on my screen, and the number 1 question after the passage is, Wadud donated 100 Ghana cedis to his friend. The question 1 is, Wadud donated 100 Ghana cedis to his friend. So we have a passage, and under the passage, we have this question. Now, what are you supposed to do under true, false, not given? As an IELTS student, your responsibility is to go to the passage and go and search through the passage and see where this statement was made, or where this statement has been made in the passage. So how to search is the trick. So don't worry about the trick. Don't worry about how to search. Just focus your attention on understanding how to choose true, false, not given. We'll look at the tricks later. So assuming you go to the passage, and what you saw in the passage was that Wadud gifted an amount of money to his friend. The question is, Wadud donated 100 Ghana cedis to his friend. And the passage says that Wadud gifted an amount of money to his friend. Now, with true, false, not given, you choose true when the question or the statement in the question totally agrees with what is in the passage. Now, we choose true when the statement in the question totally agrees with what is in the passage. So if the question says Wadud donated 100 cedis to his friend, when you come to the passage and you see Wadud donated 100 cedis to his friend, then it means the answer is what? True. It is true because question says Wadud donated 100 cedis to his friend, and passage also says Wadud donated 100 cedis to his friend. So in that circumstance, or in that instance, the answer is what? True. Now, assuming the question is Wadud donated 100 cedis to his friend, and then you go to the passage, and in the passage you see that Wadud donated 200 cedis to his friend, the answer becomes false. Why is the answer false? Because what you have in the question contradicts what is in the passage. So we choose false when what we have in the question when the question contradicts with the passage. Now, I keep saying the question contradicting with the passage. I mentioned the question first for a reason, which you will understand later. So with true, false, not given, we compare the question to what we have in the passage and not the vice versa. So we compare the question to what is in the passage. So the question says, Wadud gifted his friend 100 cedis. Then you go to the passage. In the passage, you saw Wadud gifted his friend 100 cedis. So it's true because what is in the question totally agrees with what is in the passage. And if the question says Wadud gifted his friend 100 cedis, and if the question says Wadud gifted his friend 100 cedis, and in the passage, you saw that Wadud gifted his friend 500 cedis, the answer is what? False. Why? Because question says Wadud gifted his friend 100 cedis, but the passage says Wadud gifted his friend 500 cedis. 500 cedis is different from 100 cedis, so there's contradiction. So in that instance, the answer is what? False. Now let's look at the question I have on my board. The question on the board is that Wadud donated 100 cedis to his friend. That's the question. Then the passage says that Wadud gifted an amount of money to his friend. The passage says Wadud gifted an amount of money to his friend. Now, I'm underlining gifted. And I'm underlining an amount of money to his friend. An amount of money to his friend. Now, the question says that Wadud donated 100 cedis to his friend. This is how the IELTS people trick you. Donating means gifting. When you donate something, it means you've gifted the thing. So donation is the same as you gifting something. So here, donating and gifting are synonymous. So it doesn't mean that donating is different from gifting. So here they mean the same thing. Now, but the question says that Wadud donated 100 cedis to his friend. So the question is emphatic with the amount Wadud gave his friend. But when you go to the passage says that all you saw in the passage was that Wadud gave his friend, or Wadud gifted his friend, an amount of money. Now, the passage didn't specify, or the passage hasn't specified the amount of money Wadud gave his friend. So you cannot choose true because the passage hasn't mentioned the amount Wadud gave his friend, because the amount could be 100 cedis, it could be 200 cedis, it could be 400 cedis, or any other amount. So because that amount is not given in the passage, the answer we choose is what? Is not given. The answer is not given because question says Wadud gave the friend 100 cedis, but the passage says Wadud gave the friend an amount of money, and we don't know. It could be 100 cedis, it could be more, or it could be less. So in that circumstance, we can't say it is true, and we cannot also say it is false. So we choose not giving. So true, false, not giving are statements of facts. Please note this. True, false, not giving are statements of facts. So you can't assume. In true, false, not giving, you cannot assume. You can't assume that, oh, question says Wadud gave the friend 100 cedis. So because the passage said Wadud gave an amount of money, so you cannot assume that the amount of money Wadud gave in the passage is 100 cedis. No, you cannot assume. That money hasn't been stated in the passage. So you can't assume. So the answer here is what? Is not given. Now let's look at another example quickly. The next example is almost all the students passed the exam. So the question is that almost all the students passed the exams. Assuming what we did was question 1, and this is the question 2 that we have. And the question 2 states that almost all the students passed the exams or the test. Almost all the students passed the test. Then you go to the passage. And the passage, what you saw was that none of the students passed the test. So what answer would you choose? I'm asking you. You can pause the video and tell me your answer in the comment section. Assuming the question is that almost all the students passed the exams or the test. Almost all the students passed the test. And then you went to the passage, because when you read the question, you go to the passage to search for where this statement has been made. And when you went through the passage, all you saw in the passage was that none of the students passed the test. So the question is saying almost all the students pass the test. It means almost all of them pass the test. But the passage is saying that none of them pass the test. So there's a what? There's a clear contradiction between the question and the passage. And when there's a contradiction, what answer do we choose? We choose what? False. So the answer is false. Now, let me give you this assignment so we end the class for today. Assignment. And let me know the answer in the comment section. For the assignment, just tag assignment and let me know the answer. The assignment question is, almost all the science students are brilliant. The question is, almost all the science students are brilliant. So assuming when you went to the passage, what you saw was that all the science students are brilliant, what answer would you choose? The question is, almost all the science students are brilliant. But when you went to the passage, what you saw in the passage was that all the science students are brilliant. So what answer would you choose? Please just say assignment and mention the answer, or write the answer, or type the answer so I know. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to the channel and like our video as we solve many more examples in the future and then look at the tricks involved in true false not giving. Thank you very much for watching the video. Bye.